When you do the EINs online, we have in the current directory put an example of what the summary looks like after you're done, and it lists all the data you put in. And he also, and this is his example for his private individual banker. And then you take a look at that summary example, and then his SS4 that he filled out, and we posted in April 25th or 27th, something like that. And look at the online summary and figure out where on the SS4 that came from.
I'm talking about for grant of trust, not the one that Patrick did. I'm talking about the one that you posted with Thomas J. Wilder Trust on it.
You're not understanding what's being said. When you find out what blocks on the SS4 form apply to the online form, you can do the same thing for each EIN because they ask the same questions for each EIN.
All right, I'm gonna try it again.
I think what, Tom, you're missing. You were on a group, okay, on the Skype group. And basically on the Skype group, you were talking about the SS4 for the Foreign Grantor Trust. You have to call that in to that number and get that number from, that EIN number from Philadelphia.
Okay. Yeah, when I did it, I faxed it in. That was 2 years ago. When Ray did it, he did it online. So he hasn't checked as to whether it's really a foreign grantor trust.
Right. But you were on one of the Skype groups, and there were several people on the Skype groups, and they just recently got their foreign grantor trust EIN number, and they said they'd called it in.
Actually, when I did my, I got my state by faxing it in. When I did my foreign grantor trust, I had a third party call it in.
Okay, see, that's the information I was trying to ask about last week, and everybody said you could do it online. And but anyway.
Yeah, and see, that's the difference. There's people that are talking on the Skype group, and not everybody's talking and putting all this information out to everybody else, even on the calls. I just happened to see this in the Skype group. I wasn't a participant of it, but I read it and I saw it.
Oh, okay, so you do have to call it in to get that foreign grantor trust. Is that just to be clear?
Yes. You have to get that from Philadelphia. Why do you have to get that from Philadelphia? Because that is your Treasury bank routing number to access the Treasury Department. Your funds in the private, the American Treasury. All the other EINs and everything are dealing with the Mortimain account. The public. That one going, that foreign grantor trust number, basically that is where you're American, and you have to come in as an American private bank to access, and that's your birth inheritance. It's being held basically in trust, but it's not a trust per se. It's a treasury depository account.
Thank you for clarifying that.
And see, that's the one that you can access per the 1793 Debt Relief Act. That I posted out there before. Anybody that's in prison can basically put a access claim into that, but they have to come in as an American private bank and do a draft. They have to draft the funds, the assets from the Treasury depository account. As a private bank, we do drafts. Just like basically the military in this country, they draft people into the service. We draft our assets into service.
Can you drive doing a non-negotiable instrument? Or negotiable instrument, however that word is.
A negotiable instrument is a draft, okay?
Okay, right on.
I'm making one up, okay? I had Tom post a couple other items up there. You need to first get your W8-BEN updated correctly, okay? You need to have your Form 56 over your Social Security person, your Mortamain person. And then you have to have your two Form 56Fs over your your estate and your foreign grantor trust, your checking and savings account in your private bank. Put them in your private bank, those estate and those foreign grantor trust. Now you have fiduciary control over them. So you need to download, and basically then we will be doing a deposit, electronic deposit. You can either, if you have a commercial bank, you can have the funds deposited into your commercial bank account, converted over and deposited there. You can get a wire transfer form from that bank and have the funds wired to there. But you need to have a bank routing number, and the whole kicker here is that those Social Security number, the EIN numbers, are bank routing numbers. They're either a one-way or a two-way routing number. You look at all the commercial banks out here, they're a two-way bank routing number. They have two dashes in them. So they can dash in and they can dash out when they have two dashes. Our Social Security number is the same way. It can dash in and it can dash out. In other words, it can put funds in and it can take funds out. But it is a bank routing number. Now, our Social Security number is a Treasury bank routing number because we're dealing with an independent Treasury. The account number is your Social Security number without any dashes. He can't run anywhere. He's dead. He's fixed. He's sitting there. Okay, he's on the sidelines. So you take the dashes out of the Social Security number, and you've got your account number in the morning. We come in, and basically we are the beneficial owner of America. Okay? We own America. The corporations don't own shit. They can't. Only the living can own anything. That is the law. The corporations can't own anything. All the funds that go to the corporations go to the shareholders. But in most cases, they go to the preferred shareholders first. The ones that really have never risked a damn thing. The common shareholders are the ones that get screwed. Just look at Enron. And then some of the corporate employees basically get caught with their hands in the cookie jar once in a while. If the big boys complain about what they're doing. As long as the preferred shareholders get their share, they don't care how bad the employees screw over the common shareholders. I mean, you can take a look at what goes on every day out here in the system. You, as the living, you go into court. The court is a corporation. Who is the trustee in that court? Who?
Announce myself.
The court.
Who's the trustee in the court?
They're trying to keep the trustee.
Speak up and clearly.
Who are the creditor? They are the trustees.
Public defender.
No.
United States.
No.
The judge.
No.
You're the trustee.
We are. The living is the only one that can be a trustee over the public.
Oh,
No,
Yes.
it's the opposite.
No. We are the trustee. They are the beneficiary of our assets. We can't be the beneficiary and the trustee at the same time. And they can't be the trustee. That's the problem. They need us to be the trustee, to be the settler in that court.
Oh, in the court.
The trustee is the settler. We have to bring that court to settlement. We're the only ones that have any funds. The court don't have shit. They've got bonds. They're dead. They're fictions. That's where everybody's messing up. Some people touch very close to the right thing, but they're still missing a big point. When we become a private bank, and we were born a private bank because we were born on the banks of America, and we're private. We weren't born a commercial bank. They tried to make us a commercial bank. Everybody was a private bank up until the 14th Amendment. And then they brought in the commercial banking system into this country. And then they brought in the insurance and everything else that slowly destroyed the people in this country, taking their private powers away from them, their private banking powers. What does the word Bible mean? This is a starting point for you to understand what Bible means. Bible is 5 capital letters. There's a word behind each letter. The first letter is a B, banking. Second letter, I, instruments. Third letter, B, banking. Fourth letter, L, laws. Fifth letter, equity. Banking instruments, banking laws, and equity. That's what Bible stands for. That whole thing about all of this religious bullshit is bullshit. It's a belief. But it's banking beliefs. You either operate with just banking or unjust banking. And it's all about equity. What is the assets of Mother Earth?
The mineral that's in it.
Adam and Eve were given jurisdictional control over Earth. That means the living people were given control over Earth. Not corporations, not some aliens or anything like that, but the living people of Mother Earth. It's ours. It's nobody else's. We have the full faith and credit of all the assets that belong to America behind us. We don't have to go and beg some goddamn horse's ass Secretary of State to say, oh yeah, you've got full faith and credit. We'll give you full faith and credit. Bullshit, we already got it. We got it based upon the Declaration of Independence in this country, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. We stand exempt. We have the powers and the rights to it. We don't have to kiss anybody's ass to get it. We just have to stand our ground of knowing who we really are. There's a Judiciary Act that was done in England in 1873 and then updated in 1875. You can go online and pull those down and study them. Okay? What it says is that there's a conflict between the rules of law and the rules of equity. And when there is a conflict between the two, the rules of equity take precedence. They are the superior. So, in any court action, you run a stop sign, you get a ticket. You admit it. You confess it. Yes, I broke the letter of the law, the rules of the law. But I did not break the substance of law. Substance is equity. What is substance of law? Substance of law is the spirit of the law. I did not hurt anybody. I did not damage any property. And when you deal with equity or in substance of law, there has to be a real party of interest and there has to be a damaged party. In their letters of the law, there is no damaged party. They're just trying to get out there and trying to write bonds against you. Trying to make a profit off of you. All of these courts are corporate courts for profit. Public corporate courts for profit. They're beneficiaries of our assets. Therefore, they cannot be the trustee in any court case. We come in as the public trustee. Our individual banker comes in as the public trustee. When you look at this new Rev 3 W8-BEN that I posted up there, you'll see that I put down also that I am a public trustee.
Some people might be new, Patrick. They might not know that there's the three parts of the human.
Well, they can go back and listen to all these conference calls.
There's basically, to catch you guys up, there's a banker, and you got to make your lawyer, and then you got to make your man. But go ahead, Patrick, sorry.
The individual banker, basically, he has the power. He's working for a private bank. He's an employee of our private bank. That's why you get an EIN for him, because he is an employee of our private bank. Now he is our front man to go into any court, because he can stand both in the public world and the private world. He has a foot in both worlds. He is basically the beneficial owner in that bank. He's our CFO of our private bank. We as the living, we are not to be seen. We're the CEO, and we're supposed to be out on the golf course, letting our CFO take care of all of our business. But yet we have to come in as the puppet master and control our employee, because he's a fiction.
Our slaves, yep.
Even an attorney, when he goes into court, he is coming in as a puppet. And then he has a puppeteer behind him, a living person. But they're strictly operating in the public realm. They're not operating in both public and private. That's why when you bring this in and you come in as the trustee, you will take that judge out and you will put him in the private chambers. Then you will get your bonds and everything else settled properly. Then as the trustee, you can determine whether the beneficiaries get paid or not. You have the hammer. You settle the tickets. Basically, if they write a bond out there, an appearance bond for $600 or something like that, like on my traffic tickets, and you don't have a driver's license, well, they couldn't arrest a bond if I didn't have a driver's license. And then also, if I don't have a title to the vehicle, license to the state, they couldn't write a ticket against that vehicle either. Because the state can only write something against something that has volunteered to be under their jurisdiction. And if you don't volunteer into their jurisdiction, then they have no control over you. If the Amish in their horse and buggies could ever get up over 100 miles an hour, the cops could never write a ticket on that horse and buggy. Because the state has no jurisdiction over them. I don't think too many of the Amish have man-o-wars running their buggies around for them. It's that simple. We come in basically as the individual banker for our private bank. We can bring settlement into court. They have no money. We have the means to settle the item. We have access. We have our bank routing numbers now. We can either draw from our mortmain account, which primarily is the one we will use in all the commercial endeavors.
So, Patrick, let's say I'm 3/4 of the way through your process. I'm almost done, and my dad wants to retire soon. Let's say my dad wants to retire and write me over power of attorney over his banking affairs and his legal affairs. That means my attorney can go in there and my banker can go in there on his accord, right?
No, you're going to have to go in and get EINs and everything for him, too.
But then I can.
If he wants to give it to you at that point in time, yes.
Okay, that's all I want.
But he ought to be able to take care of it himself.
Okay.
I mean, it's his responsibility. He can't shuck it off unless he becomes totally invalid in the process, senile and everything, but if he's still got life in him, he ought to try and fight it.
He wants to learn, and he knows.
Okay. Tell him he's got to take his damn diapers off and act like a man for a change. An American. That's the problem. Everybody's been running around here with damn diapers on, letting the damn courts and everything try and tell you what to do. And they're nothing but a corporation. They're all listed on Dun & Bradstreet. You can go in and get their DUNS number, their dunce's number. You can check out these two laws that I have here. The 1793 Debt Relief Act. That's where basically anybody, even in prison, can petition the Secretary of the Treasury, the de jure Secretary of the Treasury, to release funds from the estate, the American estate, Treasury, depositary. To make the payment to settle the debt. But most people are in prison on a commercial debt. So you have access with your Social Security. But you need to establish the fact that you are a private banker and you're not a public banker. The 14th Amendment basically tried to set it up to where everybody, when it went into play in the 1930s, that everybody would become a public banker. But it really wasn't until 35 that everybody, the people that started signing up with Social Security, became public bankers. You, at that point in time, got your public bank routing number and your public bank account number. You just didn't know that that's what that was. And that was, it became a mortmain account. And it's held down in Puerto Rico. That is an independent treasury, public banking account. Primarily for usage of the beneficiaries who are the corporations. So like I said, if the corporations are the beneficiaries of using our assets, then who is the trustee? We are. Everybody wants to try and, some of these other gurus out here, they want to claim to be a public or a private citizen. No. What we are is a banker. We are banked upon the shores of America. Or you're banked upon the shores of Canada, or Ireland, or France, or whatever. You're banked upon the land. So you are a private banker. And you were a private banker from the get-go because nobody else had a damn hand in your being an individual. You have free will to make up your own damn mind. Use it. And we do drafts. We draft funds into service. They can draft people into the military. We can draft assets into service. That's one of the powers that we have per the 9th and 10th Amendments. We have the power to create the instruments because we're a private bank. Our instruments are every bit, if not more powerful, than all commercial banking instruments. Because ours will have the real substance behind it. They're going to be using bonded instruments. Funny money.
It's all funny money until you can get your new truck and your new house.
Until you basically make the conversion. You get it out of their hands and turn it into our private bank assets. We don't care whether it's Federal Reserve dollars or not. It don't make a damn bit of difference. But we put the assets into circulation. That will take the debt out of the system. When did they start taking silver coins out of circulation?
1963, I think.
They started, but basically it wasn't completed until Nixon came into power.
1974 or 76, I believe.
Yep. Under Nixon. And Nixon was a banker. He was tied into the banking cartel. In fact, almost every one of the presidents, since that damn stinking Woodrow Wilson, who was a damn teacher, who couldn't teach shit, being a president, screwed over the country, and basically started going along and playing kiss ass to the public bankers.
He actually killed more Jews than Hitler did.
No, that was Eisenhower.
Yep, yeah, you're right. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Operation Keelhaul.
Yeah, just keep them in place and let them starve. Don't let them get out of there and try and go out and scavenge food off the land. Keep them locked in a damn confined area for 6 more months. And then blame it on Hitler. How did Eisenhower ever get into becoming a 5-star general? He was a complete idiot.
Patrick,
He had to have the banking. He had to have the power of the bankers behind him.
Patrick, this is Decatur, the Golden Shellback. Where in our package do we write our direct express number?
You write when you get a direct express card, the 16 number, okay? And basically I posted the PDF that direct deposit, okay, I modified that one that the IRS had and took it and modified it, okay? I had to add 2 more blocks to the bank routing number so that we could put our dashes in there in the bank routing number, which is our Social Security number. But the other number right below that, that is your 16-digit, and you leave out the there's no dashes in that debit card account number. And basically you put your debit card in there. That Direct Express card was issued by the Social Security Administration and the Department of the Treasury. That is an independent Treasury debit card. A US/SS independent Treasury debit card.
Yeah, I already have it. I just have to get it working.
And then you basically turn around and you send your bill or your payment. I'm working on the draft documents, trying to make them the 3-part like checks that I had before. We don't have to make it overly complicated. We don't have to tell them all the damn laws. We come in, we have the law behind us.
Yeah, they know them. They're just waiting for us to know them.
Yeah, and basically the laws of the private are very simple. Okay? But we have to stand in as the trustee over these items, over the public world. Because they're fictions. And only the trustee can make anything move. That's why most people go to jail, is because they are not acting as the trustee. That's it. If they would have acted as the trustee to bring that thing into settlement, it would have been over and done with. Only the trustee can bring anything into settlement. The court basically can only operate with what the trustee says. That judge that's sitting up there on the bench, he has to, you're the king. You're the trustee. In the private. But we stand in as a public trustee over them. We have our individual banker for our private bank step in as the public trustee. He also comes in as an attorney in fact into that court. Therefore, he has to be heard. because only an attorney can be heard in that court. Now, some judges have been very lenient, okay, in the process out here. They didn't want to harm people, okay? There was a little brotherly love from some of these judges. But too many of the people have gone in and argued the situation, and the judge's hands are tied then. So don't blame it on the judges in all cases. Blame it on your own stupidity. Because you did not know and you did not take the time to learn the truth. And you were deceived not only by the school system, but by your parents, by your grandparents, by their parents. Because they did not know how to read the goddamn Bible. You can go all the way back to the book of Daniel, and you can find out more shit about banking law than any place else, probably. Jesus Christ. What is that name? Is Christ a person, or is Christ a title?
Title.
You're dealing with Latin, okay? In Latin, the title always follows the name. So it should have been Christ Jesus in English. Attorney Jesus or lawyer Jesus. Because Christ is the law in the present time. Cast in iron. That's what Christ stands for. Law cast in iron. Right out of Daniel, the book of Daniel. The word Christ did not come about until the Roman powers were in place. You won't find Christ in the Bible anywhere else up until the time when the Roman Empire took control. So, it had to have very significance in what it was referring to. The real law, not the fictional Jezebel law system that was being operated in the temples when Jesus went in there and threw them out. Jesus was coming in with the real law. I said this over and over again for I don't know how many months now. I've been trying to hit on a lot of this stuff. But it's all right here. Now, several people have done some items, different money orders, cashier's checks, international bills of exchange, or negotiable instruments. But when you look up the word draft, the draft has more power than a bill of exchange. You're essentially drafting the funds into service. Just like in the military. Congress had the power to mint money. They did not have the power to create the money in all cases. They had to get the consent of the people to do that. But they never asked the people. They were afraid to ask the people, because if they asked the people would have said, well, where's this coming from? And then the people would have found out that they have an American estate treasury depository, and they could draw upon it anytime they wanted to. Then they wouldn't need Congress out here. Congress would only be there as a figurehead to operate on an international basis. We wouldn't need the public bankers. They would all have to go out and get an honest job. But they would rather mess over their fellow mankind because there's no love in them.
Hey, Patrick, I got a question.
About, go ahead.
Going into a court, you're going as a trustee. Give me an example of the language you would use to let the judge know that you're there as a trustee, as a attorney in fact. How would you let him know that?
You would say it.
Okay.
I'm coming in basically as a attorney in fact. Here is my W8-BEN. Give him a copy of it.
Okay.
Here is my authority. You're dealing in a banking scenario.
Right.
What's that W8-BEN for? It's for banking.
I got you.
And then it's got all the players addressed on there.
4405186.
Okay, I sent Tom a new document that basically I can post up on the group site there.
Okay, got it. Well, let's see if I got it.
And that basically has some words right in there about what you need to say in court. I'm here to settle. Well, who are you to settle this thing? Well, I'm an individual banker. I'm a beneficial owner of all of the bonds that are written in this court action. I am the trustee, the public trustee over this action. And I'm also an attorney in fact. Where do you want me to stop? I got more damn titles than you can shake a stick at.
I follow you. I understand
Yeah.
that. I was just curious. I want to make sure, I guess. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, you just have to start thinking outside the box, outside of normal mainstream, and start thinking about this. I mean, it's all really simple when you come down to it. Okay.
Right.
We've made it harder than hell, and then basically all the other gurus out there basically have not helped in the damn thing because they got on one set of tracks and they didn't see that basically they could go anywhere. But they're stuck in just going one direction. And in most cases, a lot of them are going to end up going right over the cliff because that track that they're on dead ends.
Right.
The bridge is out.
Basically just creating a new mindset.
Yeah.
I got you. Thank you.
And see, that's the key thing was that going into court, nobody really knew who they were. They didn't know they were the trustee. They wanted the court to be the trustee or the fiduciary. No, we're the fiduciary. We're the trustee, the public trustee. Now, when we get into the private, then the de jure government will be a trustee to us because they're holding the key to the American depositary account. But we will come in as a private banker with our private bank routing number, Treasury Bank routing number, which will be our 98 series EIN. It's a one-way bank routing number. We will route the funds out of the depositary and put them into circulation. So that's a one-way bank routing number. Where all the Federal Reserve banks, they have 2 dashes. Our Social Security number has 2 dashes. It's a two-way. It's an in and out.
Yeah, I went through
funds
your whole
can
website.
go into our account and funds can come out. We just didn't know how to bring them out because we didn't know we needed that Social Security number as a bank routing number. We kept trying to use it as the account number. Because that's what they told us it was. It was an account number. No, it's a bank routing number. Treasury bank routing number. See, a bank routing number only has 2 digits at the very beginning, where the Treasury bank routing number has 3 digits for the public, for the U.S./SS independent Treasury bank routing number. But the bank routing number going to the de jure Treasury, the American Treasury depositary in Philadelphia, only has 1 dash, and it has 2 digits at the beginning. And then 7 behind.
Yeah, I tried to find your folder on that. I couldn't find it.
Tried to find what?
The EIN number for Philadelphia, and you said it was on the website. I looked all over in every file. I couldn't find that thing.
Ask Tom where that file's at that has the phone number on it.
All right.
Or ask the group site, okay?
Gotcha.
Put an email in. Okay?
I'll email Tom for it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Do it on the group.
You guys got to start working together. There's people in a lot of these states that are on here. Start communicating with one another. Go on to the group site. Ask if there's anybody else from your home state or where you're located at, so that maybe you can get some clubs together.
Can I get the number for the number in Philly? I have it if I can say it on the line here.
Yeah, if you got it, go ahead and say it.
Yeah, it's 1-267-941-1000. And the fax number is the same, but at the end it's 1055.
Can you do that again more slowly?
Yes. 1-267-941-1000. And the fax number is 1-267-941-1055.
That's for the Philadelphia IRS, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's to get your foreign grantor trust EIN number.
Yeah, Patrick?
Yeah.
So the file, What Does the Bible Mean, is up on the Yahoo group and up on the backup. Right now I can't transfer calls on Skype, and I have to call Skype support tomorrow to find out why.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about this stuff?
Yes, I have a question, Patrick. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
This is Jahari calling from Chicago.
Okay.
I was looking up on the website, and I was filling out the SS4 for the individual banker's EIN number, and I seen it had the fax number for Cincinnati, the Internal Revenue Service. Would that be the update number that we would send it to? Because I couldn't, I'm not familiar with filling it out online. When it got to the signature part, I just printed it out and signed it myself, and I seen where they had a phone number here. If I can,
well, you can do that way, but basically you should be able to just hit that and say send. And when you get the confirmation page and everything looks pretty much exactly the way I have it in my document, my confirmation page that I posted up there on the site, then all you have to do is say submit. And basically you'll have that EIN number in about 10 minutes. And you'll get a confirmation letter back.
Okay. What I did was I just typed up a fact sheet and put it in the comments after the individual banker's EIN number was issued. Would they send it to my email?
If you fax it in there, it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks before you get an answer back. Just so you know.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So basically, it'd be best to just file it online?
Yes, try and get it online.
Okay. Well, I will try again.
It's the 98 series number that basically you're not going to be able to get online.
No, I have my 98.
That one from Philadelphia.
I have my 98. The only one I'm missing is the individual bankers.
Okay.
Jahari, if you need help, you can call me, man. I can help you get it, dog.
What's your phone number, boss?
618-742-6002. 6002.
What's your name?
Yasharon.
Okay, brother. I'm going to call you tomorrow morning.
Right on, fine.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace.
Yasharon, I'm in the 618 area code. I'll give you a call, too. My name is Renee.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Patrick, I also was going over the file, getting someone out of jail. I think me and you spoke in detail, and I did the 25A. I did that this morning, and basically, I'm going to go to the clerk of the court to present just the payment bond and I filtered everything out like you have it, and I have left a parts blank like you told me to. But at the bottom of the page, you said a notary. Should the notary notarize it underneath where it says authorized for local?
No, you don't fill that out yet, okay? You need to get the bond first.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah. See, that's the same thing with the 1099B, okay? And even the 1099C. We don't, and the OIDs, we don't have all the information. We need the bonds first.
Okay.
Okay? And if you come in as the trustee in the place, you have the right to demand those bonds.
Right.
You're the only ones that has the right to demand those bonds as the trustee. See?
Got it.
We have to be the trustee.
Right.
Because we got to be able to get the bonds.
And like you said, we the only ones.
The beneficiary ain't going to get the bonds. Okay? He's only going to get what the damn trustee gives to him. Well, we don't want that shit. We want to be in control. They're the public. We're the private. We're the ones that are allowing them to use our assets. So we have the power. We retain our power. We don't give it up.
I have a question, Patrick.
Yeah.
I was looking at some old stuff a couple of days back and about the 1096, and this is just a question. It was an old document, and somebody put in there that you're supposed to put your the number on the back of your Social Security card in the red blocks to the right there. Is there any truth to that?
No.
Okay.
No. That number on the back, basically, from what I can see, really doesn't have too much significance right now. Okay? In what we need to do, okay? That number wasn't on any of the Social Security cards up until recently, okay? Mm-hmm. So basically, that number in recent times, from the only thing I can see, is basically to prevent counterfeiting. So that they can keep track of how many times you went in and drew out a Social Security card if you needed a new Social Security card.
That's right, because those numbers do change on the back. They don't change on the front.
Right. They have no effect upon the account, the Social Security number, the bank routing number, or the bank account number, the Treasury bank account number. They're fixed. But that number on the back is not a account number in any way that I can see. The same thing with the serial number that's on the certificate of live birth. Those are just there for counterfeiting. Anybody else have any questions?
Hi, Patrick.
Yeah.
Can you explain why the Foreign Grantor Trust is a savings?
Is the what?
It's a savings account.
It is basically because it is under, you grant something, okay? It is where you issue your letters of credit, okay? You grant letters of credit. And basically in our bank, we're not like a commercial bank. We do not have usury, period, in our private bank. but it is just sort of similar to the commercial banks in that they have a checking account and a savings account. Well, we need to have two also. We have to have a checking account in the state where our assets are basically held, and then we have to have our fictionary Holy Ghost person, basically, which is our letter of credit side. And that's the one that basically can access our American inheritance with that routing number. See, our savings is really the American Treasury Depository account. And then that 98 series number will be our accessing bank routing number to get to that account. Does that make sense?
Sort of.
Sort of.
So then.
It'll come to you.
Huh?
So the foreign grantor trust then deals with the
American de jure Treasury Depository account out of Philadelphia.
Okay.
But you can also issue letters of credit out because you're a grantor. He can grant things. But stop granting this to these damn corporate yahoos that basically aren't worth a shit.
Yeah.
We will pay for everything out of our estate.
Okay.
See, we have to turn around and basically, one of the key things here in the monetary system right now, when they turn around and issue you treasury checks, like from the Department of the Treasury, you've got to check and make sure whether that is in silver or whether it is in just Federal Reserve dollars. One silver dollar equals 17 silver dollars, roughly, in Federal Reserve dollars.
Right.
So you have to have the conversion, and then we put it into our private bank. But you can also put their money into the private bank, but when you go back in, you're going to have the conversion. See, that's how they slowly destroyed the country.
Yeah.
Because basically, up until when Nixon took us off the silver standard, okay, we were taken off the gold standard by Roosevelt in 1933. We came off the silver standard in 74 under Nixon, or thereabouts. Up until that point in time, one Federal Reserve dollar equaled one silver dollar. In 1969, I was making, working for the phone company, and I was getting $2.25 an hour when I first started out. In today's Federal Reserve dollars, that would be almost $40 an hour. I don't think there are very many beginning linemen making $40 an hour working for the phone company today.
Right.
So basically, they put us on slave labor ever since Nixon.
That's the plan.
Yeah, when I was making $2.25 an hour, I had money to burn.
That's right. I'm looking at a document called Contracts Payable in Gold. 73rd Congress, First Session, Senate Document Number 43. An article entitled Contracts Payable in Gold by George Cyrus Thorpe, showing the legal effect of agreements to pay in gold. United States Government Printing Office, Washington, 1933. I'm going to post that on somewhere.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff is, if you got the time, you can read it, okay? Concentrate on what you need to get done right now, okay? I've given you the answers to what needs to be done. I've got this one document that's 150-some pages, a transcript from about a year ago, and basically the guy has some good information in it, okay? But he was talking about being a private citizen, not a private banker. This country was founded upon people being private bankers. Not private citizens, private bankers. We were the ones that had the assets of the country. So we were the banks. And then the post offices were basically our local coordination banking system. That's where you did your public banking in a lot of cases through, until basically the commercial bankers started coming into place in this country in 1871. Some of them were here already because they tried to take over the Treasury with the First National Bank, and then basically the Second National Bank, and then Andrew Jackson came in and got rid of them and kept them at bay until basically they tried to come back in the 1850s, and then Lincoln tried to put the greenbacks into circulation to stifle them, because basically the bankers wanted 33% interest to fund the damn Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Total usury. They weren't out here. They were out here just for their own profits, just like all the Rothschilds.
Don't forget the Bilderbergs.
Yeah, the Rockefellers and everybody else.
Yep.
Vandenbergs, the Huttons, all those people out there on that damn, well, not Coney Island, but that other damn
Turtle Island?
No, basically that other one up there in Mass. Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard, right.
All those shitheads up there. Parasites on the earth.
Oh, not bad.
Patrick?
Yeah.
We send in 1099 A for Mom's credit card, and she just got a notice yesterday, I believe it was, that they had received notice that she had inability to pay. I think it's $3,500 balance on the credit card, and so they cut off the credit card. And on this notice, it has a payment coupon on the bottom that gives the balance, and it says amount due now. The amount due now is all zeros. It's really odd. We called up the credit card company today, and they weren't able to answer any questions, so she's going to have to call tomorrow and get a different division of the credit card company. But my question is, I think I know what to do next. We haven't sent in the 1099s, or the 1099 with the 1096 to the IRS. So we need to do that first, and then we can call the IRS and stick them on the credit card company, right?
What's the other form I just told you about? Last call?
Was that the 25?
Yes, the SF 24, 25, 25A. Okay? You need to get that bond that they wrote. Okay? See, they wrote at least a $2 million bond on a credit card. They were funding. They were the beneficiary. You've got to come in now as the trustee over that public commercial endeavor. See, they're the beneficiary. They're still getting a benefit from the usage of that because you haven't collapsed the bond.
Right. How do we get a hold of the bond information?
You have to get it. You have to contact them and demand the bond. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Submit that in, that SF-24 or 25A, and say, I want the bond so that I can complete this 25A.
Okay.
Then you let the Inspector General of the Social Security Administration know. This Inspector General for the Social Security Administration, from my understanding, in looking at everything, is the United States U.S./SS Independent Treasury Inspector General. He's a Treasury agent.
Okay, that makes sense.
But he's an independent Treasury agent. Because, see, he is working both with the Department of the Treasury and the Social Security Administration, which is basically over your Mortamain account, which basically is funding that credit card.
And what's his name?
I don't know what his name is. It doesn't make any difference.
Oh.
He's got a fax number, and basically he's got a hotline number. And so you can either call up the hotline number or the fax number.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'll have to do that then.
If you Google
when
his
I
title,
complained to him, basically I got an immediate response. They never contacted me, but basically I saw the results. When one of the other guys put a complaint in about them taking out taxes out of his Social Security checks, basically it stopped and he got reimbursed for the taxes that they'd taken out. I said this for about the last 3 weeks.
Yes, I remember.
That's how powerful that guy is. But we have to come in standing in the private. See, when we stand in as a private bank, we have more power than you can shake a stick at. Private bankers have power over all public bankers, period. Because public bankers have to get it from the private bankers. Because the public bankers don't have any money.
That's true.
And all corporations have to zero their books at the end of the year, so they have no money. Yeah, all corporations, once they zero the books, if the shareholders don't fund them, then they have to find other ways to fund themselves. And the only other way they funded themselves was by turning around and borrowing from the employees that work for them or from their customers. Or from the general public. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, Patrick.
Yeah.
On the 1099s, are we using negative values there?
No. Positive goes on that. Negative values normally go on the instrument that you're borrowing from. You're putting a negative value in to draw as the draw.
You know, I saw on basically the Lawful Money Forum that we kind of talked about a few months ago. On the Savings to Suitors Club, they had an example of an accept for value kind of endorsements with a money order. And the way they did it, they said deposit the sum to the U.S. Treasury. There wasn't a negative accounting. They said deposit this value to the Treasury.
Yeah, we put a negative to the Treasury, okay? We draw it out of our accounts, giving the negative value over to the Treasury. Then the Treasury, in their process, can turn around and send it over as a positive for settlement over to the other side, or to send it to us as a positive to use out in the public world.
Okay. I had another question.
Yeah.
Could you clarify a bit more what it means to be in the private when you have a public trustee banker?
When you get your individual banker's EIN number, okay, on that form, okay, when you submit that in, you are identifying who that individual banker is working for, and he's working for a private bank. That's where you identify that you are a private bank. When you get that individual banker, you're getting an EIN number, an employee identification number. Okay? EIN stands for more than just employee identification. Okay? It also stands for exemption identification number, and that's our Social Security number without the dashes. Okay? But on that, when you do the request for your individual banker, you have to say, who's this individual banker working for? He's working for a private bank that is unincorporated, that is a non-profit. That means he's not using usury. And that's our private bank. So we've established now by the IRS that we are a private bank. That's simple. That's what we were missing about 5 years ago, was having an individual banker as our front man to go out and do our banking for us. Our private banking for us.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. I have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
So you were talking about getting the bond to set off a credit card debt. Would you have to do that similarly for a utility bill?
No. You can turn around and basically submit this back to them. Tell them to set it off against the bond that they have written against the system.
Could you not do the same thing on a credit card?
No, I would get rid of that damn credit card.
All right.
Collapse it. Call in the bond. Find out how much is sitting there. Don't abandon it, okay? You call that in. Now, the utility companies ain't going to bond that for $2 million, okay? They're only going to normally bond for the amount of what your expected yearly utility bill is going to be. Now, in some cases, basically you just turn around and you write the settlement using the check. Do a draw against your mortgage account. At the end of the year, they'll have to send it back to the Treasury because you're going to do a 1099-A. The funds will then go back to the Treasury and then be deposited into your account in the process off of the 1099-A.
So for your set-offs, you can send in the 1099-A at the end of the year?
No, you send it in with the bill payment, okay, with your draft against your mortgage account. I'll have this draft probably up tomorrow. 3-part, sort of like a check, okay? And then you just cut off one of the 3 and basically you do the endorsement. And see, you can sign for that utility company. You can sign for the car dealership on the negotiable instrument to be processed. Because what? You're acting as a public trustee for that company.
So, Patrick, what you're saying is if I make a check and I sign the front of it, I flip it over and just sign the back of it also on their behalf?
You can sign as the public trustee for this corporation.
I gotcha. I've been missing that.
Yeah, see? That's what I was talking about earlier there when we go into court. Basically, we come in as the trustee over the U.S. government, over the state of government, over all the public corporations. We're the public trustee over all of them.
I didn't make the connection to the endorsement on the back of a check.
Yeah. See, we can sign off, and basically then we can make the determination. We now become the judge. The trustee is the one that determines whether the beneficiary is going to get paid, right? Yep. Read what it says in trust law.
Patrick?
Yeah.
You are outstanding. I've been sitting back here and I'm saying to myself, how simple. We've been looking at this thing for a long time. And the easiest way that I've come up in my mind to see it is me, myself, and I.
Right.
That's
the 3
right.
persons.
That's right. And so if you look at it from the Bible end of it, you know, God's in 3 persons, right?
Right.
And
The Father, the
feel
Son, and the Holy Ghost.
That's exactly right, and it is so clear to me. I'm happy that I'm just tuning in and everything, and I don't know. I think I'm going to have fun with this. I really think so. So I'm going to stay tuned, and you go at it, you grumpy old man. Peace and love.
Yeah, you better watch out. I go down next Friday and get my new set of teeth, and hopefully they're a lot sharper and better biting than the set I've got right now.
Oh, watch out.
Putting you on notice, Zafina.
Yeah.
Hey, Jafari, how are you, baby? All right, peace out.
Any other questions, comments, or anything? If you guys have any contact with some of these other gurus out there and they want to know the truth, okay, my number is on half all my documents out there.
Yeah.
They can get in touch with me to talk this over. Some of them are not that far away from having the whole thing, but they're missing because most all of them are not saying anything about an individual banker or about being a private banker or understanding the bank routing numbers in the process or even where the accounts are really being held at. We've got all that. It's taken us a while to get there. One of the other key things is that 270, SF 270 form. Okay? When you do a request to do a draw or a draft against your accounts, okay, for advance or reimbursement, okay, you use the SF 270 form. Study it closely. It's not that hard to figure out. Okay? It talks about the employer identification number, the recipient's account number, the federal federal grant or other identifying number assigned by the federal agency. Partial payment requested. Number for this request. And then basically it's got the recipient's organization, the payee, okay, in a lot of cases you're just going to put down your individual banker. The organization is going to be your private bank. The employer identification number will either be your Social Security number or your estate EIN number. The recipient's account number will basically be, in most cases, if you're going after your more main account, it's going to be your Social Security number without the dashes. Federal sponsored agency or and organization, element to which this report has been submitted. Your Social Security person. Go into any Social Security office and you will find that they are basically have just as much, if not more, security than a bank does. In most cases, they will have they don't hand out money across the counter. So why do they have all this security? It ain't there to protect the people. I can guarantee you that. They could give a shit about the people. The people can die and the people can be replaced. But the computers cannot. The data. That's what the key thing, and that's why basically the main federal courts, because they have, and I've told the security guards there at the federal courthouse in Des Moines this. I said, they don't give a shit about the people in this damn building. They're not protecting them. They're not protecting the judges. They give a shit. They can always replace them. There's more idiots out there than you can shake a stick at. I said, the only reason you've got security here is because you've got all the computers here accessing all the accounts. That's what the security's for.
Don't forget the security in the IRS office.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing, federal building. Okay? And basically you've got the Secret Service there, the Enterprise Financial Management System, and they're just a bunch of accountants too. Just like half the people in the FBI. You can go and watch half the movies out here and basically see that most of those people in the FBI and the Secret Service are more accountants than anything. Even at the federal courthouse building, you have more accountants in there than you do attorneys or anything else.
So that would be accountant/hitman, right?
Yeah, the accountants that are handling all the bonds and everything that they're handling. That one document that I had Tom post up last week or whatever, clearly identifies that in a lot of cases, the vast majority of your state bonds are picked up by the federal district.
Right.
So basically, who is monitoring all those bonds? Basically, the federal courthouses, the federal treasury banking houses. The courts are nothing more than a public bank, a governmental public bank. And you're coming in as a private bank and your individual banker as the trustee over these public banks. Because the private always stands over the public. The living always stands over the dead. Just go out to any graveyard and see if any dead person's going to stand over you. I don't think you're going to find one.
That's why you do bankruptcy in a court.
Just be a little careful on Halloween, though.
You forgot the Vatican.
Huh?
You forgot the Vatican Bank.
Oh, yeah, they're all banks, okay? But they're all public banks.
Mm-hmm.
Even the churches, they're all basically public.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're users of our assets.
Can I have a question in regards to all of the churches. How is it that they're able to do the things that they're doing in regards to all of the funds? I see usury. So.
Because the people are too damn dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go to church. Okay.
I mean, basically, go back into roughly the Middle Ages, okay? All the wars that basically that the people went and fought for the church, killing one another, okay? You had the Moor or the Islam against the Christians, both religious leaders. They didn't give a shit about the people. They were after their power over the people.
Fear.
Now, the churches, basically back around 1,000 years ago, were starting to lose power over the people. Some of the people were starting to wake up. The Knights Templars came back, and they were trying to start up a private banking system.
Mm-hmm.
The people were stopped going to church. How did the churches get the people back into the churches?
The Nicene Creed had a lot to do with a lot of this.
Huh?
I
What was
said that the Nicene Creed had a lot to do with a lot of
No,
this.
that didn't have a damn thing to do with it. Okay? What did they do?
They made a state religion.
What did they do to this country when basically the people, the men, stopped voting? They gave voting to the women. What did they do 1,000 years ago when the men and the family stopped going to church? Oh, they brought Mother Mary in as a co-redemptionist along with Jesus. She will save the women. Oh, shit. The women started flocking back to church. And then they started dragging their men back to church. Because they weren't going to get any if they didn't go to church with their woman.
Are you saying that there is no honey without the money, or what are you trying to say here, Patrick?
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Oh, boy. You're pistol.
It's the facts of life.
Yeah.
And basically, the most gullible species is the female side. Because what is she looking for? She's looking for security, for the home, for the nest. She wants to have confidence that basically she's going to have something to rely upon. She gave up relying upon her man to protect her. So she went elsewhere.
Pretty deep.
Yeah, I mean, basically, giving women the right to vote. Oh, we're going to turn to the government. The women are going to turn to the government. We're going to get what we want now. The government ain't going to give you shit. I hate to tell you that. And now, when you find out that basically you're out there working 3 jobs, why are you working 3 jobs? 1 job should be enough to support you. Because you're not getting paid what you're due. Your man's not getting paid what he is due. Because you flooded the market also. You've destroyed your man. I'm not really a woman basher, okay? I really love women. So I'm not gay. I can tell you that right now.
Patrick, I'm going to have to do this right now, okay? It's not the fact that women are turning on any man. It's the system that has been put all in place. So what you're saying now, and I honestly think that once women start waking up and they tend to understand what we are talking about right now, a lot of that will be turned around and things should go back to the way in which I feel a man and his woman or his king and his queen should be. Period.
Right.
You're welcome.
But see, this is nothing new, okay? All of this stuff is basically, you study the Bible, and you see basically this stuff was going on in the Bible way back from the very get-go, too, okay? So none of this, I mean, these deceivers have played, they know how to read the Bible and know when to put certain things into play to get their benefits that they want for their control over the people. It's just that the common people out here don't know how to read the Bible because they don't want to take the time and they don't want to ask the question, why? Because we were told to read that Bible as a little child. And you have to ask the question, why is it like this? And then you have to scope out and find the answer. Because nobody else is going to tell you the answer. I can guarantee you that. Any other comments or anything? I'll have these drafts up here tomorrow, Treasury drafts,
Right.
private bank Treasury drafts up there, and then basically you can look them over, and if you want to use them, if you want to modify them, go ahead and modify them. Like I said, I had several people send me the ones that they were using. We don't need all the information they have on there, okay? We don't need a UCC. We don't need apostilles. We don't need authenticity. We're the authentic, the real thing, okay? We know who we are. And then all we needed was our individual banker. And we needed to understand the bank routing numbers that we already had and the bank account numbers and how to start processing these things as a private bank. And that we stand in as the trustee, the public trustee over all the public corporations. They're the beneficiaries. We are not. That's a total lie. None of this has been for our benefit whatsoever. We have not benefited one iota from having Roosevelt and all those guys take all that shit away from us. It was all for their benefit. They needed us. And basically then the lie that was told, just like Goebbels said, basically tell a lie often enough and basically anybody will believe anything.
The bigger the better.
Just like cancer. Okay, cancer is a complete lie. All the remedies and everything out here, all the drugs that they put out. Basically, in a lot of cases, I think half the damn drugs are just to try and make you worse off. So that basically you come into the doctor's office more times than what you need to. I mean, it's just like going out and now the pet industry. One of the biggest money makers out here is pet supplies and pet drugs and everything else. Oh, I got to take care of that damn little dog. Well, shit, there's more damn dogs down at the damn dog pound. If this one gets hurt or something like that, put him down. Go get another one. You don't have to abuse them. You can love them, but love them as long as they're able to be loved. But don't get attached to anything that you can't walk away from. Because if you get too attached, when you have to walk, you may not walk. And then you're dead. It's your choice. Because you do have freedom of choice. I'm not trying to tell you not to have freedom of choice. I'm just trying to wake you up to basically understand that you can make another choice and live a little longer. Okay, no other questions or comments or anything, rebuttals?
Nothing to rebut.
Okay,
Very good, Patrick.
call tonight.
Thank you, Patrick.
Okay, good night.
Well said.